Hi everyone, this is Kelly Diamond. I made a couple videos at the beginning of the summer about my internships in LA and how I got them. So now I'm going to tell you my top 10, in no order, tips that I learned that I want to pass on to everybody who's reading or watching, whatever. So tip number one is the first thing that anybody said to me at Nickelodeon Animation. They said, always say yes. And this is extremely important because this is what gets you through the door. It's what gets you looking like, the good worker that you really are, that got you in the door in the first place. So never say no to a task or suggestion. Tip number two is meet as many people as you can. That's what really made my summer as incredible as it was career-wise, is that I was willing to talk to everybody who wanted to talk to me, and I also made people want to talk to me. You got to just have your firm handshake and go up to them and say, hey, this is what I'm interested in, you do this, tell me about it. And most of the time they will. I know at least at Nickelodeon and Mandeville, where I worked, people were more than happy to meet with me and talk to me about their careers and see how they could help me in my own. Tip number three is to hone your creativity. This is something that I'm still working on, and it means, in your free time, make sure you don't forget about what's really important to you. For me, that's writing. For you, it could be anything else, but every job has a creative aspect. Every person I know has some sort of creative outlet. Don't lose it because of work. Tip number four is dress to impress. This is another thing I learned at Nickelodeon. They said dress for the job you want, not the job you have, and it's really true. Though Californians are very laid back and wear jeans to work, I was always sure to, most of the time, wear a dress or a skirt, not too fancy, but to show that I really cared about my appearance. Tip number five is to eat with others. Bond with coworkers during lunch breaks. You want to form friendships with the younger coworkers, or the ones closer to your age. It's important because they're going to be your colleagues in the future, and you want to seem social but professional. Tip number six is to ask as many questions as you possibly can. That's all I did this summer, and I learned so much from it, from my observations and then, the questions I asked after seeing something I didn't quite understand or wanted to know more about. Tip number seven is to cater your resume to the job you're applying for. I went to a resume workshop, and they told me this, and it really makes sense. I have a lot of things on my resume that may not make sense to send to a studio, so those things you can kind of take out and add more film experience that's relevant to the job you're applying for. Tip number eight is to take the blame if you do something wrong. Excuses never work, especially in this industry. Everybody makes mistakes. I know, for example, I walked into the wrong meeting when I was supposed to be handing out papers at the other meeting, and it was really embarrassing, but I owned up to it and said, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, and the famous Butch Hartman just laughed and said, you know what, it's all right, take a button of, Dudley Puppy, which is the show I worked on. Tip number nine is to stay organized. Piggybacking on this last tip, don't be late. If you're going to miss a meeting, call someone, say something, do not just disappear. Be professional, be organized, know where your notes are, take notes, know what's going on around you. And finally, number 10 is to enjoy your job. You're there for a reason. You applied because it's something you want to do. That's what an internship is meant for. So if you, are doing a lot of scanning or printing, which is something that I did a lot of the time, find the redeeming quality. For me, that was knowing that after the scan job is done, I get to go to a record of, the SpongeBob voices. Find the silver lining, always. Otherwise, you're going to start to resent your choice to work there, and that's never a good thing. Always find the best in everything. Hope this helped, and I hope it wasn't too long, so I'll see you guys next time.